Hello everyone, this is Lollipop and welcome back to another video. Now I am pretty happy with this run, to be honest. I felt like I played it really well. There's a couple mistakes here and there, but overall I feel like I'm getting better at the game, you know. Now, yeah, the Ranger experience for the Rake strategy in general was kind of bad. Like, Ranger has no damage early game, right? So you have to get a crossbow or some other great weapon from the miller if you wanna kill the Grelwood witch fast. By the way, if you ever see me like skip the dialogue for the first like zombie or NPC this fast, I'm basically like doing a frame perfect double click where I aim at the NPC for the first click and then I instantly like the next frame I click outside of his like hitbox, I guess, and I can click really fast, so I consistently get to do that. But I mean, it's a really minor time save, so it doesn't really matter, right? Now here we socket the lightning jam because it's useful against Miller, against the thing where he spawns the zombies. But you're gonna want to use the default attack because it deals much more damage. You could like gamble and hope that you shock him like I just did right here, because it powers up, of course, your next attacks, but yeah, it's like rare that you get it, and honestly you're at that point you're just better off going with default attack every time. But yeah, really easy fight with Ranger, really comfortable. You have no problems with the zombies he spawns, like with Mercenary. This is a really fast Miller kill, one of my fastest paces for Ranger. And here I actually get my weapon for the next couple of levels, which is great because it means I don't have to spend extra gold on a crossbow at Renly, right? So here I check to see if there's a spear for 33 gold, and if there's no spear then I just reset the run because it's dead. Now here there's something really annoying. You have to like remove your lightning arrow gem before you can equip your spear, so I waste a few seconds here. I'm trying to like get disengage on, put it on my skill gem. I forgot to put like the gem inside of my gem tab. It's a mess. Yeah, that's a misplay by me. I mean, it happens. Yeah, we are gonna get the skill gem because same as Mercenary, it's nice to have the extra AoE when you're killing these bosses. And also against the Grelwood witch, if you manage to freeze her, you can actually like deal a lot of damage before she can teleport or do something stupid. So yeah, this fight is you just use the crossbow that you get or whatever weapon. I had a run where I dropped a unique mace, a one-hander with like some crazy damage on it, so that was a super fast beta kill. However, the run died due to bad RNG and Renly didn't sell me a buckler, so at that point the run is dead. But yeah, these are some RNG heavy runs. Like, if you're going for this kind of times, you either get the good enough RNG and get the buckler and spear and everything you need, or you just have to reset, right? There's no way you get sub 33 without it. Like, it's really hard to do that. But yeah, pretty solid early game split, I guess. You cannot really get a consistent fast pace here unless you drop a really good weapon from Miller, so this is pretty much as good as it gets. Now this Grelwood for Ranger for some reason was so weird. Like, there is nothing right here. This layout, I don't know what happened with it, to be honest. Here I find the tree and it's really far to the right, so I'm like, wait, where's the hut gonna be? Because I already checked in diagonal bottom left and there's nothing, so I'm like, okay, this is gonna be like one of those really cursed layouts that randomly just happen. So I'm just gonna check here because it's like the only possible place where it can spawn, and I do go straight to the hut. Now here I equip my chestplate. I remember that I had a cold resistance one, which can help against her, especially because she had extra cold damage, which allows me just to be a little more, I don't know, risky with the way I play against her. Yeah, we are just melting through her life. I'm not even using the frostbomb because when you have a crossbow, the crossbow just does all of the damage that you need. You don't need to do anything else. But yeah, here she dies. It's actually a really scary fight, but at this point I've done her like 100 times in the last week, so I'm getting pretty good at it. Here I mess up my, I don't know, my search bar, so I lose a couple seconds there, but here I go up because that's like the only place Green Tingle can realistically spawn, and I was right. I don't know, I have no idea how I read this layout, to be honest. I never got a layout like this before in my life, so I'm really happy that I didn't just fuck it up. So yeah, 540 Red Veil enter. This is like a bit slower than mercenary pace, right? But I mean, this layout was extremely cursed, so it makes sense that it's slow. Now here is where Ranger starts being really bad compared to mercenary. As you can see, I'm not even one-shotting these mobs, like I'm doing no damage. Meanwhile, mercenary, even from level 2, it has enough like base strength that you can one-shot all of these. And against Rasking, there's quite a bit of difference, because of course we have like 5 more base strength, which is of course like a lot of damage early on, when strength is all of your damage pretty much. Now here I recognize this layout from the shape of this bridge actually. Yeah, there's gonna be an obelisk right here, and then there's gonna be another one to the far left. I'm happy that I finally didn't mess up my Red Veil. I have like this curse where I always do Red Veil correctly, and then the run dies to RNG, and then when I fuck it up completely, I just get the god RNG and I finish the run really fast, and I have to upload that, which is really sad. But yeah, here I'm just basically traveling to the next obelisk while trying to get as much XP as possible on the way. We wanna get to level 6 as fast as possible, but we also don't wanna compromise our the time we reach into zones. So we have to like choose how many monsters to kill, or how much to kill and how much to run, basically, if that makes sense. You have to like find a balance between the two. Yeah, so many times, not in this run specifically, but many times I overlap the spawning animation of the boss with like going like 2 screens away, killing some monsters, and then coming back just to get some extra XP. Yeah, and you have to like play really aggressively, so that you have to tank some stuff that you normally wouldn't, because you just want to kill him ASAP. You don't want to waste any time not attacking him, right? The ice bomb is nice. It's really low damage, right, compared to stomping ground that you're doing. However, I mean, when you're waiting for the disengage cooldown, you have nothing else to do, so might as well just throw a frost bomb down. But yeah, 830 Rasking kill, which is pretty good. Honestly, a really decent pace. I just grab everything, I spam my left mouse, and here I see a belt. Also, here is when I notice that I have a rare shield, so I'm gonna save that for later, and you'll see why. Here I'm basically just checking for a parry shield and for stuff that has strength on it. So this has strength. I sadly had to sell my belt because I didn't wanna waste time, basically trying to like sort out my gold, so I just sell the belt because I knew it was expensive. Here I'm just doing putting the nails in the seal. And now here, what I wanna do, of course, before entering the Grim Tangle is get as many Scroll of Wisdom I have. Here I notice I have 36 gold, so what I'm doing is I buy one, and then I identify the rare shield that I know is gonna be worth a lot, and then I spend the gold that I got from the shield for buying more Scrolls of Wisdom. That's basically my thought process when I did that. Now, yeah, this is just Grim Tangle. And it's the one where the waypoint is to the north and to the right of the tile, and so I'm checking up here and I recognize this layout. It's the one where you go a bit up to the left and then you just go straight down, yeah, until you just turn to the left. This is actually the first Grim Tangle layout I ever learned, so it's kinda stuck in my memory, I guess, and I think I actually messed it up a bit. But like, it's not that bad. Here I have to like see if I have to go down more or if I have to turn to the left already, because normally I feel like you go down more, but it was a dead end, which means I have to like go to the left. And yeah, I see Druid here, which means I have to go up to reach the cemetery entrance, so I just turn around. And I mean, maybe it would have been faster actually to pass through the Druid what's it called, arena. However, the reason why I'm not doing that is because, as I said, I really want to get this XP. So even if I sacrifice a tiny bit of time, like, I don't know, 2 seconds, I'm getting like 20% XP from not going in the Druid arena. And yeah, I don't know why I dropped my crossbow. I guess I'm not gonna use it anymore, right? So might as well getting rid of it. Now, of course, cemetery is like 99% RNG. Here I instantly find Draven, as always, and then it takes me like 40 years to find Ainia, which is great, because like imagine right now if I found Ainia's tomb right here. This would have been an 11:30 enter, which is just insane, right? And that's like even sub 30 pace, I think. But of course I don't, so I'm just like, here I notice there are a lot of mobs, so I'm quote unquote wasting time by killing them, but there were so many mobs that at the end of the day it's worth it to do it. I don't really mind killing these like big knights or like guards, whatever they are, because they don't die in one hit, so it's not worth the time. Like, as you can see, this is a horrible cemetery. This is like so unlucky. I don't know like why I keep getting these dog shit cemeteries. I have like never gotten lucky once while doing these runs in cemeteries. I feel like never. I always get these like layouts when Ainia is on the complete opposite edge of where Draven is, and I just have to do a huge loop around to find it. Now there I saw a haunted treasure, which means that it's at the dead end and it's blocked, which is nice when you find it early, because it means that you don't find dead ends later on in the area pretty much, which means I am like chilling. Yeah, now I'm just swapping to rake. I don't know why I stumbled in the passive tree there. Yeah, I'm trying to like make my rake swap smoother in general. I think I did a kind of a good job, like better than usual at least, because I'm like using disengage while setting up my skill gem, which is something I'm trying to do. And yeah, this Ainia layout is just so bad. Here I check inside here because I thought it might be one of those layouts where the arena is in the middle of the square, like in my Hunter's Watch record, but it is not. And this is just a horrible layout. Nothing I feel I could have done better here. It's just really unlucky. Maybe like managing my mana better, but like when a layout is so long, you don't really have a way of not running out of mana while doing the rake trick. So I was just kind of fucked. So yeah, this is basically what killed the insane pace, the dogshit cemetery and the dogshit Ainia layout. But yeah, it happens. And right here you can see the difference between Ranger and Mercenary. Like, I have way less damage than Mercenary, and I have a +7 to strength chestplate, which is just better than what I get on most runs, to be honest. But yeah, here we are onto Draven at 1430, like onto the tomb at least, I mean. Now I've actually been getting really good. Not really good because sometimes I still fuck it up, but like much better and consistent at routing this layout. However, just like Ainia, sometimes it can really screw you, like, and there's nothing you can do. It just spawns a really weird or long layout. Here I'm gonna run into the wall to try to see something, and I recognize that tile instantly, which is basically the arena. So the only way I could enter it is for, like, to go here in this direction. It's probably gonna be one of the layouts where you have to do a loop around the edge of the arena, and then there's a enter in the opposite side. And I mean, that's the correct read. I don't know how I would have played this better. Maybe, I don't know, pathing more into the middle of the zone, but I feel like I played it pretty well. Something that I'm considering to do is adding some parrying into my boss skills, because I actually just realized that the parry debuff on monsters or bosses give them like 50% more damage taken. So if I can like time it correctly, and here I almost die, I don't know how I managed to just tank the Ainia thing, but yeah, really lucky I didn't die there. Here he gets powered up, but he's already like dead, so it's okay. And I do get these unique gloves, which are gonna come real, like, in my aid in the ending of the run, which you're gonna see. They do like nothing damage wise, but they do give like 25% cold resistance, which is great against Geonor. Yeah, this is just a mid Lackland kill. It's not a bad time, you know, but for Ranger especially, but for Mercenary this would be a hard reset for me. However, I just wanted to like force as many runs into Freighton as possible, just for like practice sake. And I mean, Freighton has, if you get lucky, it basically gives you a free run because there's so much variance in it and so much RNG. Yeah, here I don't even get his loot because I don't care. And I'm off to the hunting grounds at 17 something. Some people ask me how I do the rake bug, even though I say it in like every video, but I'm just gonna explain it again for the people who saw this video and didn't watch the other reward trackers. I'm holding down left click for using rake every single time, and as soon as the initial dash that basically makes you fast, I'm tapping parry for like 1 frame, which resets the end of the animation that slows you down, and if you chain these together a lot of times you go fast as well. Now I'm doing the Dryadic ritual, whatever it's called, to get the super gem. I feel like this might be a misplay if I am playing what's it called, mercenary or like warrior, or classes that inherently have a ton of damage, but since I'm playing ranger, I really wanted to have the extra damage against Crowbell and King of the Mist. So I don't know if, yeah, I missed the checkpoint. I don't know if that's really worth it considering I've spent like 10 seconds on it, but I don't know. But yeah, I found everything so far, only missing hunting. What did I just say? Only missing Crowbell, sorry. And here he is. Passive 3 wise, what I'm gonna do is basically just go down and grab the percent melee damage that I grab on Mercenary. Now, the thing is, while you do get a lot of damage in the late stage of the run because of that, in the early game you're sacrificing the 10% projectile damage that you get on your first node if you were to like start the tree on the opposite side. So what that does is it makes the early game, so like the Beira fight and the Grelwood Witch fight, slower, but you do get more damage later on in the run, so it's fine. And actually I think that I'm gonna do that on Huntress when I go for Huntress, like sub 30 Huntress or whatever I try to go for in the future, right? Yeah, here he just dies. I have no Scrolls of Wisdom, which is bad, of course, because I ran out, but it should be okay. Now here I'm entering Ogham farmlands at exactly 20 minutes, and I'm gonna allocate my passive tree like right now, I think, or maybe later. I don't know when I actually do it. And here my OBS did something weird. I have no idea what happened, but it basically like froze, and for like 30 seconds or 20 seconds, whatever it is, and it stopped recording any game audio. Yeah, and there's like literally no reason why it happened. It's just extremely buggy to use OBS on Mac. So I'm not sure if this makes the run unavailable for like verification purposes in speedrun.com, but like I honestly don't really care, as I'm gonna beat this in the future anyways, you know. So I'm just posting it on YouTube. Yeah, so I'm just grabbing the Una's loot and continuing this layout and this zone. Here I ran out of mana. It sucks. It happens though, and I realized this is a really easy layout, so I'm almost at the end basically. Even if you run out of mana, the good thing is that you can always just spam disengage, and it costs like 3 mana to do, so it's like free. Now here, in the past I actually used to TP to the town, give Una the loot, and then go to Freightron, but I'm actually gonna do the opposite. I'm just gonna go to Freightron with the loot in my inventory, and this saves me like 10 seconds of me going into town. So I'm like sacrificing 2 passive points in order to, yeah, to save 10 seconds, which is just what I have to do. Now here I instantly see 2 checkpoints, which is amazing, of course. And also I'm taking so much damage here. I have no idea what the hell happened in this run, but I just felt so fragile all the way. Yeah, so I just do the first 2 rituals. I don't see any more rituals on the side. I mean, that would have been just absurd, right? To have 3 right next to each other. I'm just killing monsters as effectively as possible. Now, nothing much to say here. I've been like trying to make my movement better lately, using disengage and yeah, like this, instead of like getting stuck with rake against some monster. I just disengage away. Now here's the 3rd ritual, and I'm like, holy shit, this is just insane, right? And it opens up in the top, which makes me think that there's a really good chance that the boss arena could be there. So I'm like bogging out here, because this would actually be my fastest ever Freightron split using this strategy. Yes, I killed the rest of the mobs, and sure enough, there's the bridge and there's the boss arena. This is by far my fastest ever Freightron. I have no idea. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is happening? This is such an insane seed, and really lucky. It basically saves the run, right? But I mean, it balances out. I got unlucky on the cemetery and in the Ainia tomb, and I get lucky in Freightron, so it's okay. Here I have my gem tab open because I want to add brutality to rake before the fight, of course, for the extra 25% damage. And this boss is just extremely easy here. I get like, yeah, like caged, but I think it doesn't matter because he was stunned and he had to wait for the stun animation to end anyways, so it's okay. Here I do some like crafting, if that's how like you call it. Yeah, really easy fight. You just hold down left click and he dies. Yes, 24-30 freight on the exit. So this is on pace for like a sub 26 executioner, right? Which is great. So here, yeah, is when I give Una the loot and I get all of my wisdom scrolls that I was missing. We get into the village, I finally allocate those points, and watching back this run, I realized that I spent like a lot of time with my passive skill tree. Like I should probably try to optimize it more by just getting the passive points in during like animations, or what's it called, like loading zones, right, when you get into a new area. So I'm gonna try to do that next, but it's really hard when you have to like click the strength nodes because they take like 2 clicks to allocate, so that obviously is really bad and you can't do that too fast unless you have like aimbot or something. Now let's talk about movement speed in boots. While in the older runs it was like 100% necessary to have because that's all you're doing, you're basically just always walking. In this kind of run with Rake, I feel like it doesn't really matter because all of your speed is in the Rake animation anyways, right? So this is great because it removes the RNG layer of having to get movement speed boots at like level 6 or whatever. Yeah, at the start of this zone, I noticed that I accidentally pressed my mana flask when I had like almost maximum mana. Which basically wastes like half of my mana, and it means that I'm gonna run out of mana really early in this zone. That's just purely a misplay by me. Totally my bad, really avoidable as well. I have no idea why I did that, so I'll try to be more careful in the future with my mana flask, especially when I don't have a greater one, like here. And I read the layout correctly, I think. Yeah, I have no idea why I went there, but I should have just went straight. But here I get to the end, I get stuck of course with Rake, and after many stumbles I entered the manor at 27:30. Yeah, this is just guarantee that I finished the run at around 32 minutes or whatever that is. But it depends, like if I get a really bad Candlemas spawn, then the second floor layout is dog shit and I get rolled by RNG and everything, then the run could be like a 42, 30, 43 minute run. So I still have to not get too confident, you know, and actually give it my best until the very end. Here I put on my gloves, thankfully I don't forget. Now something really funny happens during this boss. Like here I tank most of his attacks. Now here I notice he's doing the fire, so I'm like, okay, I can maybe kill him before he does it, but I don't, so I have to like roll, and somehow I accidentally pressed my key for like opening the passive tree, and the game didn't pause when I open it. So I was basically blindly dodging his attack, and I somehow managed to survive that. I have no idea how I did that. I watched it back many times. Yeah, it's just weird things that happen. I noticed that sometimes, like during some bosses, opening my passive tree doesn't pause the game, and I've noticed it especially like during King of Mists, that when I open my passive tree he can still hit me and stuff. I believe that last league this was not the case and opening the passive tree always paused the game, but this is actually making me doubt myself, and if this is true, if like passive tree doesn't pause the game against those bosses, then that's actually amazing, because I could like overlap spending my passive tree points with like the boss's animations and stuff, you know, which is amazing because it saves like 10 seconds throughout the whole run. So yeah, here I am just in floor 3. Pretty decent navigation so far. I'm using disengage, as you saw, to like get out of the monsters, and perfect floor 3 layout, really nice. And I am entering the fight at 29:55, so basically 30 minutes, and the fight usually lasts 2 minutes when I am on mercenary, so of course I have a little bit less damage just by being ranger and not having the best gear, so it's probably gonna be a little bit more than that unless I get lucky and phase skip. Now in a bit I'm gonna check my character panel to see my resistance, and I notice I have 43 cold resistance due to my gloves and some other gear. This basically allows me to play really aggressively in his second phase, so I'm like taking a mental note of that. And I don't have a greater life flask, which is really bad defensively wise, because the medium life flask doesn't do shit. It heals like 70 life, and I have 300, so it doesn't heal me anything. So I still have to be really careful, even though I have that much cold resistance. But yeah, I can like aggro him if I mean, you'll see what I'm talking about later. No spoilers yet. Now here I am just holding down left click, and I just get fucked. I get unlucky and he does the face before anything. So yeah, here I am jumping around, but I realized that this is actually wasting a lot of my mana, so I don't wanna like run out of mana in the second part of the fight. So I'm just, I mean, you cannot really die to this. You just kill the monsters in one hit and you just move to avoid him. You don't even have to roll to dodge him, especially because I have 10% move speed. Now, yeah, like you can like perfectly tank all of his attacks. He does like nothing, and here I stun him, so I don't know. I feel like there will be like discoveries and ways to make this fight faster. Maybe we can like learn how to time some freeze. But yeah, here I notice that he's doing the attack and I can aggro him because I have that much cold res, and I kill him a little bit earlier, right? And if I didn't have the cold res, I would have 100% died there. But yeah, so yeah, another deathless run, really nice. I am really happy about it. I made really little mistakes in this run, which is what matters to me, because you know, if I get lucky, like anyone, or not anyone, but any decent player or good player can get a sub 30, but what really matters is playing really well consistently to me. So yes, this was the video. I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe for more videos like this, and hope you have a nice rest of your day.